Mam Aleph in Tanya. Baram tzarich lios l'zichro in Tomid reishis avoido v'ikor of shorsho. We have to remember always the beginning of the avodas Hashem, and v'ikora. That's the main thing of the avodas Hashem. That meaning that's what the avodas Hashem stands on what he's going to talk about it in a minute. V'shorsho. That's the roots. So somebody over here asked me, what is Reishis, what's Iker, and what's the Shoyresh? So I told him, Reishis, when you have a building of 10 stories, so the beginning of the building is the first floor. That's the beginning. It's Reishis. That's the Aleph base. But then do you have what the building stands on, the pillars of the building, the Iker. That's what's holding the building. There's a pillars of the building. And then the Shoyresh, what the roots of you have to go sometime to the below the surface of the building, the foundation. That's what the building cannot be without the foundation. It's the shoyrish. It's a tree cannot be without its roots. That's the foundation of the way. It's starting from there. At what it is going to say in a minute. The Alter Rebbe. V'hu ki'af shayirom. Even though the Yiro is Shoyresh, the Sturmera, even though, as we know, the two Dibros are Rishonos, the two first Dibros Hashem spoke to Klal Yisrael by himself. And it says over there that Anoichi Koilel, Anoichi Hashem Elokecha, it includes all the mitzvahs Eser, yeah. And loy yelecha includes all the mitzvahs loy sase, loy yelecha. So it comes out that ahava, hayira is shoresh l'sur mera. The yira, it's the yiras Hashem, the fear of being disconnected from Him, or the fear that's feeling the presence of Hashem being nullified to Him. This is the root for surmera, to stay away from doing anything bad. If you have avas Hashem, that brings you to asatoy, to serve Hashem, to serve Hashem with all the mitzvahs, because you love Him. If you wouldn't love Him, you wouldn't do it for Him. So it says, "Apal piken lo dai." It's not enough to serve Hashem. If with the aset toiv, with the mitzvahs maisias, only with ahava, the vehicle of serving Hashem, with mitzvahs maisias, positive. It's not only ahava levado, lefocus. At least tzarich leoira tchila hayira hativis hamusuteres belev kol Yisrael. You have to also, the vehicle to serve Hashem, even by mitzvahs eseh, have to be at least the minimum to awaken in us the yira we have, a natural yira every Jew has. That's a natural feeling that I don't want to be disconnected from Hashem, a natural feeling I'm bottled to Hashem, and that's yira atibus hamasuteres belev kol Yisrael, and this is hidden in every Jew. Every Jew has it. Sometimes it's not felt like this because it's hidden by us. He says, canal. That's the Yirat Tato. I don't want to, I'm afraid not to be rebellious to Hashem. So to bring out this Yira from the closet, that's the Yira that's Musuteres, that's hidden in us, to bring it Bizgalus Liboy, ideally to bring it the revelation of the heart. The revelation of the heart meaning you mamash feel it. It's not just something theoretical hidden in you, you know that's how it is, but you don't really feel it. If not, if you cannot bring it out in the matter like you feel dover gashmi, you're afraid from a dover gashmi, like a person will be afraid to do something against the law. He doesn't want to, doesn't get into trouble with the law, yeah? So he doesn't want to do anything against to being disconnected or rebellious to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But if you don't feel it, al kaponim, it should be omoicha al kaponim. It should feel theoretically in his mind. He should feel, yeah, I really don't want to be disconnected. Again, meaning by nature, what's the? Let's go back again. What's called the yira shebetaluma ayira musuteres? Meaning by nature, we the Jews, everybody in his own level, we don't want to be disconnected from Hashem. Somebody doesn't want to do certain Isur, somebody does another Isurim. Everybody in his own level, he knows, I don't want to be disconnected from Hashem. But it's not enough to do it naturally, like he spoke about it a lot in the previous program, because things that are done naturally at the level of Behema. The Behema works with that nature. That's the Teva of the Behema. Whatever it does, it's the Teva of Behema. So you want to bring it in understanding, at least and theoretically, I do it, that's the right thing to do, and I don't do this because it's the right thing not to do this. At least because I don't want to be disconnected from Hashem. At least it should be, and theoretically at least, you should think about it. Yeah. So that's more than just doing it as a habit. You thinking, yeah, I don't want to do it because I don't want to be disconnected from Hashem. So anyway, before we go further, so what he says over here, that the ikara avoida, that's the roots, that's the foundation of the avoida, it's yira. Meaning, it's not only for shumera, not to do aveiras. It's for ahavas Hashem also you need yira, because that's the foundation of ahava. Now, the reason for it, that's why the foundation, why yira, it's the fear, it guards you from doing something you're not supposed to do. And like Alter Rebbe says before, now love, it makes you do something. When you love somebody, you do something for him. So why do you need the fear? Why need a yira as a foundation for ahava? It's no connection between the two. So we spoke about it before already from the Rabbeinu Bachye. Same thing, like if somebody wants to put gold in a container, there's no way you could put the gold over there unless the container it's empty and clean. If the container is full of dirt, there's no room for the gold over there because the container, whatever room in the container, it's all filled up with dirt. So what you have to do if you want to storage over there gold, you have to get rid of the dirt, clean the container. Now it's become a kli. Now it's become a kli for putting the gold over there. Same thing over here. In order for us to bring in us the union of Avas Hashem, love to Hashem, if our container, the body, it's full of dirt of Olam Haza, Taivas Olam Haza, you're not a kli to love Hashem. So that's why in order to become a kli, a vessel, to love Hashem, to create such a feeling of love to something spiritual, to godliness, to lakus, to davening, to doing mitzvahs, to learn. So for that, you have to get rid of all the dirt, Taivas Olam Haza, and then you become a kli now. When you clean yourself from Taivas Olam Haza, now it's a kli to put a gold, ahava over there. So same thing over here. He says, it's true, in order to do Ratzon Hashem with mitzvahs maisios, you need ahava, but you need also the yira. That's what it says, that to remember it. Reishis avoida, the beginning of avoida, v'ikara, v'sharsha, and this is the main thing, that's the pillars of what's going to hold avoida. That's the roots of the avoida. Why? Because if you're not a kli to a lakus, if your container is full of taivas Olam Haza, how are you going to come to avodas Hashem? That's why even in avodah mitzvahs esed, which is mainly the driver mitzvahs esed, it's ahava, but you do need the yira for everything. It's the foundation of the whole entire Torah, because that makes you a vessel now to come in, bring into your life ahavas Hashem. So that's what it says here. The Hainu is born in the machshav al kaponim. At least think theoretically in your mind, Gdulas Ensa Baruch Hu, the greatness of Hashem, Malchusoi, Asher Malchus called Oilamim, Elonim Tachtoinim. The Gdulas Ensa Baruch Hu, it's in of Bina. You're thinking of his greatness with your Bina. But that's how Hashem is great in heaven. But then when you look in Sfiras HaMalchus, Hashem created the world, Sfiras HaMalchus, and he runs the world with Sfiras HaMalchus. Melech, Bamishpat Yamid Oretz. He runs the world, the Oretz, with Mishpat, with his Malchus. So then you feel also he's a king over here. He's this Nishkan Hefker world over here. And when you feel Malchus Hashem, Malchus Kol Olam, in all the world he created with his for us Malchus, Elyonim V'Tachtoinim, he's the king of all, of upper and lower world. He Mamalek Alalmin, and it fills in the world with the light of Mamalek Alalmin, which is that the light that penetrates in the world, in the level that's compatible to the world, meaning there's a certain light that goes to plants. It's a lower, it's a lesser of a light that you see in animals. That's why it doesn't have neshama, it grows. Then there is even a higher light going to the animals. They move, they have neshama. Then even a higher light in people. Within people, you have different. The level in your the life in your feet is not the same level in your head and your brain. So all this mamala, it's going to every place, to every level according to its level. That's light that penetrates. Mamala penetrates in everybody according to his kalim. And then you have a serve kalalmin, that he is creating the world, all of them b'shava. It's the light of serve. The world is not, that's why I call serve, because the world is not a kli for that light that should be shine, b'pnimius, penetrate in them. So it's serve all the world b'shava. Serve kalalmin is b'shava, yeah. And when you think about this, like it says, it's animal. Hashem says, I'm feeling in all the world. Then you could go further with this as boinam. That's and Hashem left all the elyonim v'tachtoinim. So, and by the way, this is the union of the two brochas of Kriyat Shema. Every brocha has a shaychus to the mitzvah. For example, before learning the Megillah, we say Al Mikra Megillah. Before putting mezuzah, we say Likvoya mezuzah. Brocha is a shaychus. Before putting to the Landiach Tefillin, there's brocha is a shaychus with the mitzvah we're about to do. Brochas of Kriyat Shema. We have two brochas before Kriyat Shema, called Birchas Kriyat Shema. What's the connection to Kriyat Shema? One brocha is Yoitzer HaMo'eres, the other brocha Aboicher Ba'amo Yisrael Ba'ahava. You love the nation. What's the Kriyat Shema? It shows you that the whole brachas of Kriyat Shema shows you the whole thing is how much Hashem loves us. Because it talks about over there the creation of our upper world with the Malachim, and then talks about over there the creation of all the galaxies, the light, the sun, the moon, the stars. We'll talk about it in the brachas of Kriyat Shema. And then we're saying all this, Hashem, He didn't create it for them. They're not there for themselves. The whole thing is for what? Avas olam avtonu. So the Adrabah, what's the Shema Yisrael? And then say, ahavta. So the preparation to say this whole big world created for who? For you. That's what it says over here. He leaves all the upper world, all the malachim, tachtoinim, and the lower world, everything, the whole entire creation. What the purpose of the creation? And he is specifically relating, directing his union of Malchus, kingdom, who is his real nation, Al Amo Yisrael B'chalal, general Klal Yisrael, you are my nation. For you, the world was created. The Olav Bifrat, specifically, and a person. When he says Shema Yisrael, you have to think about Hashem created this whole entire world for the Jews, and especially for me. Everybody have to say that for me. B'shvili nivra ha'olam. Obviously, it's not feeling egoistic. It's Adrabah saying the whole world created and what I'm doing with myself. What I'm doing, my purpose of the creation. I was created to serve Hashem. So when you feel that, it's not just some big God that is in heaven far away from you. Adrabah, you're bringing now this great God into your life. You miyached, you make it. It's that God is specifically close to you. That says Hashem created the whole world for the Eden, and specifically for me. Everyone have to think that. A person have to say. You can't say, "Oh, I'm humble. It's not for me." No, you have to say, "Bishvili nivra olam." The world is created for me. So what I'm doing over here to do my job. Could you imagine this whole big world, a huge world, was created for me. And what I'm doing with myself. And with that awareness, I accept upon myself the kingdom of Hashem. He's king specifically on me. When you know the Melech has thousands of avodim, you're going to say, someone else will do the job. I'm not going to do it, someone else. No, you're the only Eved, you're the only servant. You have to do the job. If you're not going to do it, no one else is going to do it. Whatever it takes, I'm ready to do any avodah. Hashem nitzav olav, and when you realize that Hashem stands upon you, and His honor fills the whole world. And Hashem watching you. He knows exactly what's going on in your mind, in your thought. And He's watching you to see if you're really doing your part of the creation. The purpose you were created for. You're doing it. And that's you come to conclusion with that is boinanus. You have to stand in front of Hashem with a great fear, with a great bitul. Again, yira of year we mentioned many times. It's not a yira of punishment. It's at the lowest level of yira. It's the yira not to be a rebellious, and the highest level, the yira ilah, it's feel the presence of Hashem and being bottled to Him, being nullified to Him. You have to feel I'm standing in front of a king now. You have to feel the presence of the king, and now you're standing with a bittul, with a great humility in front of a king. And you have to deepen your thought in this thought again. How Hashem is great, is Malaka, and all the elements of this great big world Hashem created for Am Yisrael, especially for me, and He's standing upon me to see if I do my job. And you have to think about it as much as you could comprehend, as the time allows you. Every time you're about to learn Torah, you're about to do mitzvah, like lifnei levish talis with tefillin. You're about to put your talis on tefillin. Before that, you have to think. You could do the mitzvah physically and mechanically every morning. You put talis on tefillin. It's done. You're not thinking anything. Yeah, then at mitzvah sanashim ulamada, like you said before, that's the level of a behemoth. Why the behemoth does things with an instinct, does it naturally. That's the teva. But if you put a little bit of bonus before, Hashem created all these big worlds for me, and I'm doing now my avodah Hashem. I'm doing my avodah. If you just do bonus before the avodah, that puts you completely in a different level. Good moed. But Hashem will continue this tomorrow.